Steve and Jane Wynne Harris run Marlow Hill, an intensive hill country livestock property. The Wynne Harris farming business comprises 358 hectares spread over two properties 5 kilometres apart in the Hatuma district east of Takapau. Steve and Jane purchased the 182-hectare home block Marlow from Steve's parents in 1985, and there began Steve's journey to the point where he says, "A man should live as though he will die tomorrow, but farm as though he will live forever." The judges were clearly impressed with how Steve and Jane were juggling the balance between land stewardship, lifestyle and successful business operation. They wrote, "This is one of the most highly intensive and sustainable hill country sheep and beef units in the country. Intensively subdivided with reticulated water, shade and shelter in every paddock and a minimum of frills, this property works to its maximum." The livestock portion of the business is grazed on the farm's easy rolling contour divided into 130 paddocks totaling 320 hectares. Steeper country has been planted in trees. Steve estimates 50,000 of them on his watch. 29 hectares of forestry and 6 hectares of other species. Runoff filtration and water flow distribution has also been improved with the fencing of wetlands and most waterways. Steve and his father have planted all the trees on their property, an unswerving effort spread over nearly 30 years. "I think I'm all planted out for a while," recounted Steve. Cattle ratio is kept to a maximum of 40% and it's predominantly yearling bulls that are wintered. In 2010, they wintered 194 R1 bulls, 57 R2 bulls, 1,392 ewes, 522 hoggets and 148 stud ram hoggets. The Marlow Coopworth stud consists of 240 ewes with genetics Steve believes represents traits positive for the area and for profitability. He says, "We are happy. The lambs going off the property are the best I've ever seen and we're getting pretty well rewarded for them." In the late 1980s, Steve was part of New Zealand Ovine Sire Reference, the first of its kind in the country to artificially inseminate sheep. The group of about 20 breeders continues to use AI and ram circling to maintain strong genetic links so we can remove environment effects. The Marlow Hill operation has been developed to be a productive unit easily run by one person. All 130 paddocks have shade and shelter for livestock and reticulated water. Steve is pleased with the state of their farming business. He says, "You know that front-end loader development approach? Get in and get it all done and get your payback quicker." A Lincoln graduate with a BAg.Com, Steve was an early convert to feed budgeting in the mid-1980s. Marlow Hill is a contributing property to the Farmax and Beef and Lamb Economic Services databases and was a monitor farm. Steve and Jane place a high value on community contribution. Formerly a dental nurse, Jane is now a fully qualified tennis coach and coaches up to 100 children a year. In 2007, she was named Coach of the Year at the Central Hawke's Bay Sports Awards. All of us have a strong sense of place and consider this our Turanga Waiwai, the place where we stand. The judges described Steve as a high-profile, focused and passionate farmer, open to new ideas and leading from the front for environmental sustainability. He is a top-class stockman achieving impressive production.